So, welcome to 2022. Welcome back. I took some time off from social media, from YouTube, and I would say I have all the energy again to go this year. And for me, it has been quite a change. Already in the last year, I had quite a change in my spiritual belief, in my essence, in what I wanted to do. And yeah, basically on New Year's Eve, instead of sniffing my ass off, I took it easy this year and I actually moved back for a bit to the Netherlands. I want to take you along into a book that I'm reading currently. It's the Tibetan book of Living and Dying. It's from Sogyal Rinpoche. I hope I even pronounced that right. But I want to take you along in some stuff that I was reading, and I think that's very essential in how I look at the world and how we can learn basically all from everything that is happening in the world. Yeah, it starts with death in the modern world. When I first came to the West, I was shocked by the contrast between the attitudes to death I had been brought up with and those I now found. For all its technological achievements, modern Western society has no real understanding of death, or what happens in death or after death. I learned that people today are taught to deny death and taught that it means nothing but annihilation and loss. Of course, the YOLO shit, that is pure bullshit. That means that most of the world lives in either denial of death or in terror of it. Even talking about death is considered morbid, and many people believe that simply mentioning death is to risk wishing it upon ourselves. Others look on death with a naive, thoughtless cheerfulness, thinking that for some unknown reason death will work out all right for them, and that it's nothing to worry about. When I think of them, I am reminded of what my Tibetan master says. People often make the mistake of being frivolous about death and think, oh well, death happens to everybody. It's not a big deal, it's natural, I'll be fine. That is a nice theory until one is dying. Of those two attitudes towards death, one views death as something to scurry away from, and the other as something that will just take care of itself. How far they both are from understanding death's true significance. All the greatest spiritual traditions of the world, including of course Christianity, have told us clearly that death is not the end. They have all handed down a vision of some sort of life to come, which infuses this life that we are leading now with sacred meaning. But despite their teachings, modern society is largely a spiritual desert where the majority imagine that this life is all that there is, without any real or authentic faith in an afterlife. Most people live lives deprived of any ultimate meaning. I have come to realize that the disastrous effects of denial of death go far beyond the individual. They affect the whole planet, believing fundamentally that this life is the only one. Modern people have developed no long-term vision, so there is nothing to restrain them from plundering the planet for their own immediate ends, and from living in a selfish way that could prove fatal for the future. How many more warnings do we need, like this one from the former Brazilian Minister for the Environment responsible for the Amazon rainforest? Modern industrial society is a fanatical religion. We are demolishing, poisoning, destroying all life systems on the planet. We are signing IOUs our children will not be able to pay. We are acting as if we are the last generation on the planet. Without a radical change in heart, in mind, in vision, the earth will end up like Venus, charred and dead. Fear of death and ignorance of the afterlife are fueling that destruction of our environment that is threatening all of our lives. So, isn't it all more disturbing that people are not taught what death is or how to die, or given any hope in what lies after death? And so what really lies behind life? Could it be more ironic that young people are so highly educated in every subject, expect the one that holds the key to the entire meaning of life, and perhaps to our very survival? So yeah, I stumbled basically up on this book, and it made me realize, because of course my dad passed away now already 9 years ago, and I never really had a big problem with him passing away. I struggled with the fact that our relationship could have been better, but not necessarily with the fact that he passed away. Because for me, that is something, yeah, natural or something spiritual. I always believed that there is something afterlife. I have certain beliefs that go towards reincarnation, or at least that you come back in some kind of spiritual way. And my dad was so sick that he couldn't continue further. So instead of like being, having fear for death or being afraid of it, I see it as something that you can really learn from. It changed me as a person. And of course, what I also like about this book is that they also grasp towards the fact in how we deal with our planet. We can talk about global warming, but that is a whole different topic. But definitely in how we leave the planet behind for future generations and how we currently make decisions. I don't necessarily only want to put that on the normal human beings, because I think governments, corporations have a way bigger part in that. But I thought this was exactly something nice to start with in 2022. What are my plans then for 2022? Well, I definitely will continue the videos that I've been making before. I will definitely also take you guys along into my own spiritual development. I noticed when I was in Berlin, like I've been, as most of you might know, I've been quite a stoner for the last few years. I stopped smoking weed now for already quite a while. And me being not numbed out in Berlin really made me realize so many energies, so many sounds, so many different kind of smells. As a friend of mine put it, it was just stressing me out. So I'm currently here in the Netherlands to calm down again, and that definitely worked. There's a big difference in being in a city with like 3.7 million people, or being in a small little village where I am now with like 1500 people. So currently I'm taking my time to see, okay, what will my next steps be. Anyways, as I mentioned, I will continue these videos. I hope this would have been a nice start of the new year. I will, I'm busy with my new website as well, that will be posted soon. And you can expect more videos from me to come again. If you like the video, give me a like. If you like the content that I make, please give me a subscribe. That would help me out a great deal, because, well, life hasn't been too easy with my current situation, but on the other hand, I'm quite excited for the future. Whatever it might bring. Do I go back to Berlin? Do I go to Portugal? That's all stuff that I'm currently trying to figure out. Might even go to South America, but oh well, at least I want to make content, at least I want to take you along. And as I said, there is nothing else for me to say. Big hug, much love, and of course let me know what your spiritual belief is, and then I see you in the next one. Ciao ciao.